Now, the United Nations Security Council has finally passed a resolution calling for an immediate ceasefire in the Gaza Strip. Now, Israel's longtime ally, the United States, interestingly chose to abstain from vetoing this resolution calling for a ceasefire. Now, experts say that this actually highlights that the ties between the American President Joe Biden and the Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu are at an all-time low during this war. Now, soon after the vote, what is interesting is that Netanyahu abruptly scrapped a visit by senior Israeli delegation that was meant to go to Washington. The aim of the meeting was to discuss Israel's planned invasion into Rafah. Now, according to Netanyahu's office, the failure of the US to veto the resolution is a clear retreat from its previous position, and it will hurt Israel's war in the Gaza Strip. The threat of an offensive in Gaza's Rafah has also increased tensions between the US and Israel. Experts say that if the crisis is not managed carefully, then it's only going to continue to worsen with time. The suspension of the meeting in Washington has also jeopardized US efforts to tackle the humanitarian catastrophe in the Gaza Strip. At the same time, it also has put forth a major obstacle in the way of the Biden administration to get Netanyahu to consider alternatives to a ground invasion of Rafah. Now, Biden's decision to abstain from the United Nations vote also appears to reflect the growing American frustration with Benjamin Netanyahu's war. Now, earlier in the month, Biden had said that an invasion into Rafah would be a red line for the Americans. However, he also added that the United States, even if Israel continues to invade into Rafah, would not stop sending more weapons to Israel. Now, Netanyahu has dismissed Biden's criticism and has vowed to press forth into Rafah. On the other hand, both the leaders are also dealing with political pressures. In November, Joe Biden faces his Republican rival Donald Trump as he aims for another term in the White House. The American president faces pressure not just from America's allies but also from a growing number of fellow Democrats as they're calling to limit Israel's offensive in the Gaza Strip. At the same time, the Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu is facing domestic challenges of his own. The far-right coalition members are demanding for a hard line against the Palestinians. He's also facing growing calls from hostage families to bring back their loved ones. And the frequent protests calling for Netanyahu's resignation adds to his problem. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.